Either Russia single-handedly elected President Trump and is the same threat it was at the height of the Cold War, or it is a strategic partner to save the Western civilizations. Either it single-handedly determined the outcome of our election in 2016, or it poses no threat at all. Neither of these false dichotomies is probably correct. Russia poses a long-term strategic threat, though not in the same way it did during the Cold War. And if we remain focused on building our own deterrent and on defending our interests while avoiding wasting trillions of dollars on Islamic civil wars, we can deal with President Putin. The first step in putting America first in this debate over Putin's aggression in terminating the unilateral disarmament treaty he forged with Putin under President Obama. Especially when we compare the last few presidencies, generally speaking, President Trump's policies towards Russia have been a lot stronger than his rhetoric. President Trump can commit to modernizing our missile defense systems, reassuring the European Union allies of what Obama obviously abandoned, or ramping up natural gas exports to combat Russia's energy monopoly. Trump's policies haven't quite matched the embarrassing display in the summit this last weekend. Now that he stumbled in the Helsinki summit, there's one way President Trump and congressional Republicans can reclaim their legacy of America first. They can go on the offense for our priorities and expose the Democrat duplicity on Russia. President Trump should commit to ending the New START treaty. Lost in the pandemonium created in the media and political world over President Trump's comments to Putin and the assertion that he wants to continue the lopsided nuclear disarmament deal after its expiration in 2021, the Russian Defense Ministry is ready to unveil a contact with the U.S. colleagues between our general staff and via other communication channels to discuss the extension of the START treaty, cooperation in Syria, and other topical issues of military security. President Trump should flatly say no to this idea. Also, congressional Republicans who claim to be so troubled by the president's diplomacy with Putin should immediately introduce legislation blocking any extension of that deal. Talk about a bad deal, and it is. The New START treaty was the poster child of what President Trump had derived as one-sided sellouts long before the Iran deal exemplified America's last diplomacy. The New START treaty was ratified by the Senate during the lame duck session in 2010 after Democrats had already been crushed in the midterm elections. It was ratified with support from every Democratic senator and with the help of Republicans such as Lamar Alexander, Bob Corker, Susan Collins, and Johnny Isakson. These are some of the same senators lambasting President Trump for being weak on Russia. Really? This New START treaty went into effect February 5, 2011, right in the heart of President Obama's administration. Within exactly 7 years, the parties were to reduce both their nuclear triad of delivery systems, deployed intercontinental ballistic missiles or ICBMs, and their launchers, submarines-launched ballistic missiles, and strategic bombers. The agreed-upon limit on delivery systems was 800 deployed and non-deployed launchers, of which no more than 700 could be deployed. The limit on warheads was placed at almost 1,500. According to the Congressional Research Service, as late as March of 2017, Russia reportedly had well over 1,700 warheads, but suddenly in February of 2018, Russia claimed it only had approximately 1,450 warheads and was in compliance with the treaty. What we do know is that we dramatically shrank our stockpile in America. Let's see who really puts America ahead of Putin and who is scoring political points. This is where Congress comes in and where President Trump has an opportunity to reverse course, renew his brand, and put the Democrats in a bind. There is no point in renewing a treaty that has allowed Russia to grow its dominance in delivery systems and tactical nuclear superweapons while holding us down. The verification of Russia's compliance was always weak, while our compliance was transparent. According to the Conservative Review, I don't believe that the New START Treaty should be extended without full Russian compliance with both the INF Treaty and the New START Treaty itself. Russia's actions that are violations of the New START Treaty are being described in the Russian press, including the state media. The New START Treaty has little national security value because it is too easy to circumvent or violate. Fixing the problems would be a major negotiation, no matter how good a negotiating team is put together. If there are significant Russian violations, there can't be a useful national security benefit. There certainly will be no reduction in the Russian nuclear threat. What if President Trump, McConnell, and Ryan announced that they plan to discontinue the START treaty and block any president from extending it to 2021? That is the way to put the Democrats and the media in a catch-22 position. After all, how could they claim an existential threat from Russian hackers embarrassing the DNC, but ignore the dangers of Russia's nuclear capabilities thanks to a treaty proposed by Putin? In the long run, ladies and gentlemen, there is no need to treat Russia as the end-all threat it was during the height of the Cold War. But we cannot ignore where it is headed, and its nuclear posture is a much graver threat than its ability to hack into our unprotected DNC servers. By simply putting America first and pursuing the nuclear offense and missile defense strategies that we need anyway to deal with North Korea, China, and Iran, and by asserting a Monroe Doctrine over Russia in Latin America, we will remain strong and won't have to worry about Russia reemerging as an equal rival. Thank you for watching Screen Hoopla News. I leave you a link below for this article in the comment section.